In 1958, Nguyen Ngọc Sung left Vietnam on a scholarship to a faraway land, New Zealand. Now 40 years later, and known as Mary Burns, she has a good reason to reflect. She recently received the member of the New Zealand Order of Merit for services to the Vietnamese community. The whole community has gathered to celebrate, and children dance in her honor at the Vietnamese Child and Family Protection Center in Otahuhu, Auckland.
When I heard about it, I said, oh, what have I done, you know? But when I thought about it, and I realized that it is not just for me, it's for the whole team.
How important is this award?
It is very important now because many people didn't think much of the work we're doing, helping the poor, helping the little kids learning their own language.
The first Vietnamese refugees arrived in the mid-70s, and Mary soon found herself helping them settle in New Zealand.
It was a big change for them to come to a new country, not knowing the language or the social customs. And you had to teach them even right down to how to put a nappy on a baby. A lot to do at that time, and the government really wasn't aware of how much there was to do.
Mary Burns was a young woman herself when she left her family and country to further her education, breaking a tradition of what was expected of girls in that generation.
I wasn't really sure what I was heading for, but I was very keen to have some experience overseas. So when you were young, really, it's not so complicated.
What was your impression of New Zealand back in the early 60s?
At the time, war was going on in Vietnam. There was always fighting, shooting noise, bombing noise. But in New Zealand, it's so beautiful and peaceful and quiet.
In her student days, she helped the Kiwi medical team with the Vietnamese language and the local knowledge before they were sent to the Vietnam War. She proved herself a Kiwi by winning the slam cooking competition in 1970. After gaining university qualifications and a teaching diploma, she returned to Vietnam to help her people, then came back to start up a family with her New Zealand husband, Naval Officer John Burns. But sadly, he died not long after. Mary Burns taught in various schools and remains actively involved in the Vietnamese community.
The Vietnamese are survivors. They always do their best to get what they think is good in life. There have been many successful stories. Many children have got training either at university or at technical institutes or holding good jobs.
She is very proud of her mother, now in her 80s.
Oh, I think my mother's done well. She's really, she loves it in New Zealand. And she's been here several years now. But did you like New Zealand?
Yes.
Yes.
Mary Burns owes much gratitude to her daughter, Anna, who has been very understanding of her commitment. Mary's life is now featured in a book entitled Hall of Fame, Life Stories of New Zealand Women. It has been a long and hard journey, but now it is time to celebrate in her new home with her family around her. The girl who was ahead of her time then can now look back with a smile of satisfaction.